So in this video, I'll be talking all about step by step the process of becoming an LPN, LVN, whatever you want to call it, licensed practical nurse. I will be getting into the steps of how I became a nurse and the price of how much I went to school for and all those things. So yeah, if you guys haven't subscribed, go ahead and press that bright red subscribe button. Hi, my name is Nurse Kathiana. I talk all about nursing. I am a cardiac RN new grad since December. And yeah, we talk all about LPN. I was an LPN for 3 years. I worked in the nursing home, independent living, and I did home health. So any questions you have, you can leave them down below for me, and let's get into this video. All right, so the first thing you need to do if you want to become an LPN is make sure you have your GED or high school diploma. So if you have your GED, you will have to take a test called TAPE test, but before you can even get into that, you need to figure out what school you want, because there are some community colleges now that offer the LVN or LPN program. For me, I went to a technical school and I really enjoyed it. It was only 1 year and it was affordable, honestly. So I didn't pay out of pocket. I did have financial aid at the time, so I ended up leaving with no loans, no bills, nothing like that. I even got money back. So after you figure out what school you want to, at my school, I went to a technical school. I had to go to an orientation where you just get a general idea about the program, what options financially are available to you, and they just give you a general overrun of what you need to do in order to get into this program. So next, if you have your GED, you will have to take a test called TAPE test. So it's called the Test of Adult Basics Education. It's a basic test of things you need to know if you were to pass high school, basically. So it's not a bad test. I do recommend studying, but it's not really bad. I don't hear much people failing the TAPE test. Next is the TEAS test. This test is crazy, guys. Make sure you study for the TEAS test, because me and my sisters, remember, I went to LPN school with me and my 2 younger sisters. So that test, we had to study our butts off and we still barely passed. So the TEAS test, you have to get a certain percentage. At my school at the time, I believe it was like 70% or 75%. I'm sorry, I couldn't find the information online. But you have to get a certain percentage to pass. And this test has all sections. It has science, it has reading, it has math. So it's definitely a test you want to study for. And it's not like your simple standard. It's going to have some difficult questions in there. So I recommend getting a book to study for it, or asking around for people that have done the LPN to see if they have any study material that you can use. So after you take the TEAS test, then that means you're ready to register for classes. So when you're ready to register for classes, you're going to pick your classes, obviously. And right after you pick your classes, you'll have to do everything. So background check of physical, immunizations. Please make sure all your immunizations are updated. For me, I had to go back in time because I've moved from Michigan to Florida. So to find those old shot records from when I was like young was kind of hard, but you have to have those in order to do it. You can, refuse the Hep B if you want to. Make sure you get your flu shot if it's in season. They're going to ask you for insurance. A lot of time these programs, they give you insurance if you need it. And then a drug screening. This was the most scariest thing I ever did in my life, because I've never had to do a drug screening, but obviously I don't do drugs. But yes, so be prepared for that. And so now I'm going to get into a little bit about the classes that they have you pick. So your first semester is going to be fundamentals, which is the basics of nursing. If you don't have your CPR card, you're going to have to go and take a CPR class and some basic CEUs, which is like educations that you need to do, like HIV and AIDS, or what are some of the other ones? I wish I had my notebook with me, but you have to do some basic classes, and that's only like a 2-week course, which is pretty cool. I already had my CPR card prior because I worked in the as a receptionist, but I saw people doing that. And if you didn't have to get your CPR card, you would just take like 2 weeks off and then continue. We learned how to make beds in this course. We learned how to clean patients. Fundamentals is the part everyone does not like. It's the basics of nursing. You're just learning the structure basically. And where did we do our clinicals at? In the nursing home. You got it. So yeah, fundamentals is, for me, interesting. It's typically the easiest part for a lot of nurses, but it can also be the hardest part because you're learning how to think critically. And even though it doesn't seem hard now, it's hard at the time because your brain is learning how to think and answer questions in a whole completely different way. But I had good teachers. So next is the second block. So there's 3 blocks in LPN school. The first one, fundamentals. The second one, pharmacology and med-surg. Pharmacology is medications. You learn the basics about medication classes, side effects you need to watch out for when giving certain medications, and math, nursing math. I failed this class, guys, so don't take it lightly. If you haven't seen my video of I failed nursing school, pharmacology was the reason, because I was so petrified of math that I did not take the steps that I needed to actually sit there and learn it. I was just trying to like pass by it, you know what I mean? So do not make the same mistakes as me. I can say that with no shame because I'm an RN now and I know my math. So next is med-surg. So now you're going into the body systems. You're learning the complications, the disorders, why the body does certain things and how it functions with certain things. So I loved med-surg. It was very complicated. And what's funny is I'm a cardiac nurse, and the heart, I really liked it. Even though it was one of the hardest topics, I really liked it. I enjoyed it. You're going to be doing clinicals in the hospital, which I liked. We used to go on like rehab units at the hospital and regular med-surg units, so that was good. So the third and last part that you'll need to pass is maternity and peds. So maternity and peds is just like it sounds, like maternity and peds, mother, baby, and mother. So you go through the process of having birth and all those things. And maternity and peds, you go to daycares, you go to elementary schools and see how school nurses do it, because a lot of LPNs are school nurses. You get to go to pediatric hospitals. So it was very educational and learning. Obviously, it's not my specialty, but I enjoyed it and I had really good instructors. So after each block, you guys, there's a HESI that you had to take. I'm not sure because now they're kind of switching things up, and it's been like 4 years actually, since I was in LPN school. But I had to take a HESI at the time, and you had to pass your HESI with a certain score. So for my school, it was like 800 for the HESIs, or they would work it out as if like you have to add it to your grade, and then you have to have a certain like 77 to pass for the course. So for example, if I got like a 650 on my HESI, if I had like an A, it would drop me to a B, and then I would pass because I would need an 800. You understand? But for my last and final term, maternity and peds, I take 2 HESIs, right? The first HESI is kind of just to see where I'm at, how I'm doing, how I would do for NCLEX, right? Because NCLEX is the state board test that you need to take. So I would take it and it tell me, okay, you are at a 700. So you need to study a little bit more. You're almost there, you're close, but you're not ready for NCLEX yet. So for your final one, depending on your school, you need to pass it or you need to get like a certain number on it. So say if it's 850 again. So if you don't get that 850, you have to take the class again, or you can take the HESI again. It just depends on your school. My school did not require at the time for you to have an 850, but they needed to see that you were doing remediation and all those things. And yeah, but we're not going to get into my politics with HESI, because HESI for me is useless, but we're not going to talk about that. So after you take all 3 courses, so fundamentals, pharmacology and med-surg, and then third, maternity and peds, and you pass them and you pass your HESI, that means that you are ready for NCLEX. And NCLEX you have to pass. You can pass with a minimum of 85 or maximum of 205. I have a video as well on my NCLEX PN experience. I will leave it linked up in the cards. And once you pass that, you can work as an LPN. It's not that bad. My program, again, was 1 year. The cost was $6,000, which is not bad if you think about it. And my program was an online / classroom, so it's like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday class, and then the rest of the days you'd be online. And it wasn't bad. I liked how they incorporated that. It helped me. It allowed me to continue to work as a receptionist during that time. So if you like this video, go ahead and thumbs up this video. Thank you for watching. As always, if you haven't, go ahead and subscribe. If you have any questions, leave them down below. And till next time. Bye, guys.